2-1 in match play. They lost the first set against the Dutch.
And Vanetta serves that into the net, and that's her second time that she served that one to the net. Her and Forsyth both have at least 2 service errors, and the Knights are going to have to make sure that they stay away from that, because that gets the Dutch right back into the game here.
Yeah, I really think the Knights are going to have to slow things down a little bit so they don't have errors like that.
As ball served over, picked up by Ramey-Seek now to Brillenseek. Brillenseek puts it down. Hugel's got it. Set by Snyder back to Kuba, and it goes into the net off the blocking hand. So tied up here, 10-10 in set number 4.
And just when you think the Knights are going to come away with the victory in set 4 and get the match, Dutch tie it back up 10-10 here in the 4th set.
Snyder serves it over, received by Shinstein, and just a good set over there by Ramey-Seek. A fake set, and just puts it over right in the middle of the court, right in the middle of all the Dutch.
So Knights regain the lead. They lead 11-10 here in the 4th set. Forsyth back to serve.
We already talked about it. Forsyth already has 2 service errors into the net. We'll see if she can get this one over the net and let the Knights play it out. As she does, and Greiger receives it. Set by Snyder. Right off the set was Myers, but the Knights have it. Set by Ramey-Seek to Neiman. Neiman right off the set, and right there's Gali. Now Snyder and Kuba from about midcourt. Right there's Forsyth. Set by Ramey-Seek. Back to Vanetta from midcourt. She puts that long, and the Dutch pick up another point here and tie it up 11-11 as Emily Hugel goes out. Laughlin comes in for the Dutch, and Nicole Beer comes in for Maddie Forsyth for the Knights.
That ball went way long and almost hit our sports director for TV, Shelby Granath. I was kind of fearing for her safety there for a sec. Central serves.
Gali serves it over, received by Neiman, set by Ramey-Seek, over to Brillenseek. Brillenseek throws that over, and right there's Myers, set by Snyder, back to Kuba. Kuba goes over, right there's Vanetta, set by Ramey-Seek, now back to Brillenseek. Brillenseek goes against a solo block, but a great dig by Greiger, set backwards by Snyder over the net. Greiger's right there, set by Snyder now to Laughlin, and the block's got it, set by Ramey-Seek, set by Beer over to Brillenseek. Brillenseek overhands it into the top of the net though, and the Dutch pick up the lead now, 12-11. And let's talk about Greiger for a second. She is a terrific libero.
I was just going to actually say that. She's picked up some really phenomenal digs tonight. Throughout the game, too, especially, I noticed she had a lot of good digs. As the Dutch get another point there, and they're now up 13-11. And it looks like Coach Walker's going to call a much-needed timeout. Kind of seems like the Knights are falling apart a little bit. Dutch have a lot of momentum on their side right now. Drew, what do you think?
Well, it's about a 6-point turnaround right there for the Knights and about 3 different serves. The Knights are going to have to figure out a way of stopping the Dutch. I feel like the Knights are just a little rattled right now. They lost a few points, and they just need to find a way to come out of it. I think this timeout's going to be a good way of Coach Walker calming them down, getting their heads back into it, and making them come out here and realize that they can end it right here. They don't have to go into a 5th set. If they want to come out and they want to play, they can, and they can end this match right here and go into the conference tournament as the 2nd place team in the conference with an 7-1 record.
Yeah, and it would be big for the Knights to win this set because like we talked about earlier, that 5th set is just absolutely detrimental for the Knights as they've only won 1 going into the 5th set so far this season, being tied up in the match play. So hopefully the Knights come out to win in this set. Otherwise, they could be in trouble. Dutch looks like they're going to serve on this one as they lead 13-11.
Amy Gali back to serve for the Dutch. As she tosses it up now and over. Beer receives it, set by Ramey-Seek over to Brillenseek. Brillenseek puts off the hands of blockers, and a diving Laughlin tries to put that one back into play, but can't. So the Knights at the point out of the timeout. So it looks like that timeout worked for him with Shinstein back to serve.
That's a big play to have coming out of the timeout, kind of kill some momentum from the Dutch.
Shinstein serves it over, and it's going to be an ace for Shinstein as Gali can't handle that one as it was right on the line. She didn't know whether or not to hit it or not. She goes for it, and it goes out of play anyway.
And we are tied up 13-13 here in the 4th set. Knights lead 2-1 in match play.
Shinstein serves it over, right back to Gali, set by Snyder. Laughlin goes over, right there Shinstein goes hard off her hands, and a chasing Vanetta can't get to it. So the Dutch have another 1-point lead here, 14-13, with Myers back to serve.
Kind of looked like Shinstein was just trying to pop it up, and it kind of rolled the wrong way off her fingertips. Dutch hit the point, 14-13 Dutch.
Ball back into play. Ramey-Seek's got the set to Vanetta. Vanetta puts it over and down. And the Dutch, all 6 of them are on their heels there. And it's not a hard ball to defend, but it falls for the point. And now Eberhardt and Davison come in for Brillenseek and Vanetta.
The Dutch making substitutions as well. Eberhardt back to serve for the Knights.
Everhart serves it into the net, though, so gives the point right back to the Dutch. And it's going to be interesting to see how many service errors the Knights have tonight. And both teams, really, as both teams have had a lot of service errors. And this weekend, service errors were a big problem for the Knights, service errors and serve receptions in their tournament. As it's going to be served over and down by Liz Sanders, as the Knights had a little miscommunication there between Shinstein and Beer. So Sanders picks up the ace, and the Dutch lead 16-14. Sanders serves it over, picked up by Everhart, set by Ramey Seek over to Davison. Davison puts it down for a huge kill. And boy, that was a big one by Davison.
Yeah, just an absolutely deliciously spiked ball there, Drew. Monique's been playing wonderful tonight. She's a substitute, but she's playing like she's the best player on the Knights tonight. As Knights trail only by 1, 16-15 here in the fourth set.
Ramey Seek serves it over. Snyder's going to set it over. Right there's Forsyth. Bump set by Shinstein and hit over by Ramey Seek. Now Greiger's got it. Set by Snyder and tipped over by Peterson. There's Shinstein. Now set by Ramey Seek to Davison. Davison puts it down right in front of Greiger. Hits the antenna. And the Knights pick up another point. Tied up at 16.
And once again, Davison coming up with that point as the Dutch weren't able to get the dig on that as they knock it out of bounds. Tied up now 16-16, fourth set.
Ramey Seek serves it over, and a diving, I can't see what number that was. It's going to be Sanders, can't get to it, and Ramey Seek gets an ace there off Sanders. Back to serve again, Ramey Seek serves it over, right back to Sanders. Sanders puts it in the air that time. Snyder brings it back into play. Laughlin hits it over, a diving Everhart gets to it. Ramey Seek hits it up into the air, and Forsyth gets it over. Now Sanders to Snyder, hits it over by Laughlin. Shinstein's got it, and a big hit there by Wilson. Ramey Seek right off the set. They're going to call it in, and the Knights out to a 2-point lead.
And it's getting closer and closer to that set point and possibly match point.
Ramey Seek serves over, picked up by Sanders, set by Snyder, back to Peterson. Peterson puts it into a big block of Monique Davison and Bailey Wilson, and Kent Clayberg is going to take his second timeout of this set. And John, the Dutch have to find a way to get back into this. The Knights only 6 points away from winning the match. What do the Dutch have to do to get back into this match?
They need to play with a lot more aggression. A lot of momentum's been swung over to the Wartburg Knights. Now, before the Dutch were coming out playing with a lot of momentum, but you know the Knights have been playing really well since set 2. I don't know if the Dutch can come back in this one, but we'll see. You just never know. So what do you think, Drew?
I think it's going to be up in the air until the very end here. You know, I'm not gonna make any predictions, I don't think, until the Knights are leading 24 to whatever the Dutch have, and even then, you know, the Dutch can come back and force extra points. So we'll just see if the Knights can close this one out as the Dutch using their full timeout again to talk things over. And Ramey Seek will go back to serve, and the Dutch come back out to the court now. We'll see if the Knights can continue their attack, as it is very successful right now. Their defense is working very well as also, and Ramey Seek serves it over. Picked up by Sanders, set by Snyder to Peterson. Peterson puts it long, and the Knights get the point out of the central timeout. And now just 5 points away from winning their final home match of the season.
Yep, and crowd really getting into it now as it looks like Ramey Seek back to serve once again.
Sanders has got it. Snyder sets over to Laughlin. Off the hands of the blockers, but a net violation on the Knights will give the Dutch the side out. So the Knights still lead by 3, but Emily Hugel will come into the game for Laughlin. Hugel back to serve.
So still a close game. We'll see if the Knights can pull off the match here in this set, but we'll also see if the Dutch can come back. Shinstein comes up with the set.
Receives it, and Davison goes into the block, and the Knights trying to scramble. And the block by the Dutch was there and ready before Davison even had the ball. So the Knights still lead by 2, but Emily Hugel back to serve. Hugel tossed it up, serves it over. Shinstein receives it, set by Ramey Seek back to Wilson. Wilson puts it sharp angle. Snyder's got it, set by Sanders, and a double hit violation on Sanders there will give the Knights the point. So 21-18, 4 points away. The Knights from taking the match and set 4. As Bailey Wilson back to serve.
And that's a play, if you're a Dutch player, you just cannot have at this point. You're fighting to stay alive in this match. And Knights down a 3-point lead, only 4 away from that
Picked up by
match
Sanders.
point.
Snyder goes long. Ramey Seek's got it. Brought back into play by Forsyth. And Ramey Seek has a sharp angle, hits it over the net somehow. Snyder's got it. Now Sanders with the set over to Golly. Golly hits it over. Set by Ramey Seek. Set by Davison. Over to Ramey Seek. Hits it over. Greiger right there to grab it. Set by Snyder to Golly. Golly hits it over again. Right there's Eberhardt into the net. And the Knights try to grab that one, but Ramey Seek can't get it, and she also goes under the net. So side out and point Dutch.
So Dutch still in this one as they only trail by 2. Knights lead 21-19 here in the fourth set. Knights lead here in match play as they lead 2-1. Win this game, they win the match. We'll see what happens as Central back to serve.
Greiger back to serve, picked up by Eberhardt, set by Ramey Seek to Forsythe. Forsythe puts it down, too hot to handle as that one goes into the third row back there. Off Sanders' arms, and Britland C comes into the game as well as Camille Vanetta. And 3 points away are the Knights from taking this match with Vanetta back to serve. Vanetta serves it over, received by Sanders, set by Snyder, thrown down by Myers. Ramey Seek had the dig, but it goes awkwardly off her arms and down, so still a 2-point match here late in set 4. The Dutch start bringing in their heavy hitters with Kuba back into the game and Snyder back to serve. Snyder serves over, picked up by Shinstein, set by Ramey Seek to Britland Seek. Britland Seek puts it down off the solo block. Right there's Greiger, set by Snyder over to Golly. And right there's Shinstein to grab it. Set by Ramey Seek, back to Forsythe. Forsythe puts it into the block and out, so the Knights pick up the point. 2 points away now are the Knights from winning this set with Forsythe back to serve. We'll see
and if Knights win this set, then they win the match. Looks like there's going to be a timeout called. And it looks like Central's going to be the one who calls that timeout. Drew, what are you thinking?
It's going to be up to the Knights here to close this one out. The Dutch have kept it very close, and this timeout is going to be kind of the swing of the things. I mean, if the Dutch come out of this timeout and score the point, I think that they are going to tie this one up. But if the Knights come out of this one, score the point, I think it's going to get into the Dutch's head. I think they're going to get a little demoralized there because, you know, coming out of the timeout, you think you should score the point, and I think the Knights will take it. So I think the point coming out of this timeout will determine the rest of this game. And I think the Knights are going to come out here and get this point. Forsythe, obviously, she's got to serve this ball, though. She's had a couple serve errors, and this is kind of like icing the kicker when you call a timeout this late in the game when they have to serve. So we'll see if Forsythe gets a successful serve off and leave it for offense and defense to win this match.
We'll watch and see. Knights lead 2-1 in match play. We'll see if they can pull off the victory here. They lead 23-20 here in set 4.
Forsythe tosses it up, serves it over, picked up by Hugel, set by Snyder, back to Golly. Golly goes over and just in the line, and the Dutch kick the point. So still a 2-point lead by the Knights here, 23-21. Golly back to serve, Hugel out, Laughlin in.
And the Dutch were kind of hesitant to celebrate there. They weren't totally sure if they made it in, but the ball just hit the line, so they were good to go. Dutch back to serve.
As Golly serves it over, picked up by Vanetta, set by Ramey Seek over to Britland Seek. Britland Seek puts it off the hands of the blockers. Right there's Greiger. Set by Snyder, and right off the set is Peterson. Excuse me, Myers. That's going to be 4 hit. So match point here for the Knights, and back to serve for the Knights will be Marissa Shinstein.
And Shinstein's been a wonderful server for the Knights all year. And
here we go.
Set to serve.
Last play of the season, possibly, as Shinstein serves it over. Set by Snyder, and it's going to be thrown over by Myers. Right there is Forsythe. Hit over by Ramey Seek, and she hits that one long off the second hit. Like what Ramey Seek was trying to do there, just couldn't execute it.
Nope, and now the Knights only lead by 2 as it's 24-22 here in set 4. Dutch back to serve.
Myers back to serve. She serves it over. Received by Forsythe. Bump set by Ramey Seek in midcourt is Vanetta. She hits it over. Right there is Kuba. Set by Snyder to Laughlin. Laughlin hits into the block. Laughlin gets the dig back up, though. Now it's Myers over to Kuba. Kuba hits in the net. The Knights take it, and that'll be it. That's the match. The Knights win set 4, 25-22.